what a day it's been, boys and girls. Had to unexpectedly drop $172 on a new car battery because the old one died, but I guess it was time for it to change anyway. But couldn't actually drive it to the battery place. I had to actually remove the battery myself, but that's okay because I now know how to do it all on my own. So, but needless to say, it is exhausting work. And what better way to reward ourselves from such exhausting work with a stack of cool things to open? And to do the job, we will be assisted by our trusty cuticle clippers, because how else would we open packages? And just as a little reward, the drink of unboxing champions, Pepsi. Come to my aid. Hashtag not sponsored by Pepsi, although I wish I was. Alright, so let's get on it, shall we? This first one is from Cypress, Texas. Now, I have a feeling I know what this is. I think that this is the custom Blu-ray covers that I was talking about before. I want to say that that's the case, but I've been wrong in the past. I just looked at the eBay schedule of when things were supposed to arrive, and I believe that those were supposed to arrive today. And they are from the Texas area. I have to use my Herculean strength here. Do you guys like bubble wrap? Just out of curiosity, do you use bubble wrap when you ship things? I don't really use it much. I mostly just use like leftovers from packages like this that I get, and that way I can reuse, recycle. But boy, does it! Whoever sent this definitely did not want anything to come of it, which I suppose is good. I'm sure that all of you out there have probably had your own horror stories about things arriving broken, and that's never fun. Even that Tarantino set that we saw a little bit ago, the cardboard on that box wasn't in the best shape. There we go. Whew. They got that on there tight. Alright, and we got even more layers of tape to get through. Look at that. See, this is actually, in all seriousness, that's why something like these cuticle clippers or some other kind of small blade, like an X-Acto knife or something, that's why that can come in handy, because you can get into all kinds of crevices and things that you wouldn't normally be able to get in. Yep, okay, good. So yeah, these are the cases. These are the replacement replacement covers with their own cases that come with them. So we got Spartacus here. Sorry about that reflection there. Yeah, we got Spartacus, which I think that cover to me is a lot cooler than the one that's on the standard release, and so that's why I wanted to make sure that I got it. And so these are just empty cases. They just come with their whatever sample case, and then you put the disc inside. But yeah, I do have Spartacus. Just put it in there. That's a lot cooler than the normal one. But yeah, these are why I got the ones I got. This one's Don't Breathe, which, let me see if I can get it to where it's not too reflective, but hang on. How about there? I'm trying to get this at the right angle, but anyway. So yeah, this one actually I think might be cooler than the normal one. And yeah, that looks pretty sweet. And again, nothing inside. Change up my angle here just a slight bit, see if that helps any. Well, we'll roll with it in any case, but yeah, so there's our cover with our killer there. I thought this was a pretty darn good movie, to be honest with you. And then we have There Will Be Blood, which that was a great, great film. The cover on that standard release was kind of it was okay. I like this right here, because that's kind of the conflict of the whole film, if you've ever seen it. Highly recommend this film if you've never seen it. It's one of my all-time favorites. Let's see. We got The Revenant, which I think that is an awesome cover with the bear. With this one of the scariest bears I think that's ever been on film. And it's a cool thing on the back there. But yeah, I love this film. Like, honestly, like, I wasn't a huge fan of Birdman. Like, I really liked it on a technical level, but I just thought story-wise, for me, the script had a lot of problems. But The Revenant, for me, like, this is so my kind of movie, because there's not too much dialogue. There's, enough of it, but it's mostly visual, and it's a period piece. It's in the wilderness. It's about survival. Leonardo DiCaprio acted his ass off. Finally got that Oscar. The bear attack is really intense, and it's beautifully shot in like remote parts of Canada. They had to go through a lot of really hard filming conditions when they were shooting it. Lost a lot of crew members. Not that they died, but they quit the production. And they shot using all natural light, just all kinds of stuff that is pretty wild in today's CGI green screen infused world. But highly recommend The Revenant if you haven't seen it. And then last but not least, Joker, which this cover looks so much cooler than the standard release. I have the 4K of this, so the actual, this case will just be extra, I guess. But this looks so much cooler than the real one. I did not get the Best Buy exclusive steelbook, because by the time I went to order it, they were out. And I wasn't even all that impressed with the artwork on that one, to be honest. And the standard artwork I liked better, but it still wasn't amazing. But this seems to get at the heart of it a lot better. And plus the back is really cool too. Although I don't know what planet these guys are living on, but the movie is not PG-13. It is very much a hard R, and good for it. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. But at any rate, the side looks cool as well. But yeah, I think the front really kind of sells what the movie's about in a way that the standard one doesn't. But anyway, yeah, those are the ones I was mentioning before. I can give you... There's like a couple places that do it, but I can't remember what the name is off the top of my head, but I do want to get some more custom ones that are cooler than the standard releases, and I'll make sure to let you guys know. There are a couple of eBay sellers that, I'll have to write down their names, but there's a couple of them that I want to highlight just because I've had really good experiences with them lately. And, these are ones that they kind of go above and beyond what you would normally see. Alright, so next up is Cannibal Girls, directed by Ivan Reitman, of Ghostbusters fame and other comedy films, but this was a Canadian cannibal film, because Ivan Reitman is Canadian, but so this is, I guess, a cannibal film. I've never seen it, but I have been big on Canadian films lately and cannibal films, so hey, why not combine the two? If I recall correctly, someone correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I do believe that this was made during that period in like the 70s and 80s. Copyright 1973. Yeah, this was, I believe, made in that 70s and 80s time period where a lot of filmmakers would be making films that were shot in Canada, and they were films that weren't necessarily made for artistic purposes, even though a lot of great films did arise from this period, but it was because of the tax incentives that Canada had that were very, very competitive, and made it such that a lot of films just kind of got rushed to be made in Canada. That some great films came of that period, and then other ones were just kind of rushed into existence because it was cheap too. I mean, to this day, shooting in Canada is a lot cheaper than shooting in the United States. And, they still have the tax incentives and everything. So, I mean, that's why you see a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies get shot in Canada, or at least partially. But, yeah, so looking forward to this because it kind of combines those two things that I've been big on lately. Now, this one here, It's Par Avion Royal Mail, so that means it's from the UK. Um, I think I might know what this one is, and if it is, then I would hope that, it's, here's the problem with getting stuff from the UK. Like, it's cool, but you have to be careful because, oh, cool. Yeah, it's like sometimes things can take like a month to get to where you are if you're getting them from overseas. And then sometimes, like now, with this one, like I ordered this not even all that long ago from the UK Amazon store, and look at that. It's the Arrow Steelbook of Candyman, which is really reflective. Let me get the plastic off, maybe that'll help. But, so for those of you who don't know, in England, Arrow put out Candyman. In the United States, we have a Scream Factory that put it out. I thought that the Arrow Steelbook looked a little cooler. Not to say that the Scream Factory one wasn't cool, but yeah, there's the card there explaining all the features and everything. Yeah, that's better. Alright, but yeah, I got this Arrow Steelbook here because I thought it looked pretty badass. It looked cooler than the standard Arrow release, and it looked cooler than the Scream Factory release. And there's the back there. I saw Candyman recently. It was on Netflix, and I thought it was really damn good. It is a very different kind of horror film. It's, in like the early 90s, you had a couple of things like this film and The People Under the Stairs that were more speaking about the, African American experience at that time, and before people like Jordan Peele got on the scene. And that this is a really good one of that type, as well as The People Under the Stairs, which is coming. That got that in the big Arrow sale. But, this is a really good one, too. The People Under the Stairs isn't as paranormal as this one is, not as supernatural, because the Candyman himself is very powerful, and Tony Todd plays him beautifully. So we got our disc there, and let's take this stuff out and see what all it is. So there's the burning thing and the inside artwork, and so it looks like we've got our booklet here, which is meant to look like, see what we got. It's meant to look like newspaper clippings because the main character is a journalist trying to uncover the urban legends of the Candyman and the various things that have gone on in the Chicago slums over the, centuries, going all the way back to, the Candyman himself being, having been like a freed slave and, being subject to brutality and prejudice and everything. I think he's got a pretty cool backstory, and he just looks really cool. I mean, I like that he's just a big sack of guts there. Is another Clive Barker creation. He did Hellraiser and, a similar kind of tub of guts thing there. So, got our little insert there for more Arrow stuff. But yeah, I think that this is a cooler release than the Scream Factory or standard Arrow ones. And I mean, come on. Who doesn't want that on their shelf? Just don't say his name 5 times in the mirror, and you should be okay. Now, this one is from Melbourne, Florida, and it's eBay. So we're going to see what this one is. It's kind of a bigger box. Yep. Alright. Oh, yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, this is another one that was expected to come today. Not a horror film, but it's one that I imagine you'll still want to see. This one is... I forget which country this edition of the film originally comes from, but it's like some special version that you can't normally get in most places. I used to have just the standard edition of this film, but I think this one looks a lot cooler. This is not one of my favorite films of his. It's the Hateful Eight, Tarantino, because you saw the big Tarantino set before, but this one is kind of this unique package here. And I've never seen this except on eBay, but I think it looks pretty cool. Now, my big thing with this film was, so I saw the 2-week engagement roadshow version of this film with the intermission and the everything like that. So I mean, they were treating it seriously, like really old school and awesome. I was pumped, you know, because I'd never seen a roadshow movie like that before. Let's see what we got. We got our booklet here, and we've got, let's just take this one by one. So it's called the Blue Collection Limited Edition on the back there. And it looks like it's in, so there's an English section in here. There's some photos and things. I don't have to go through it all, but there's another, most of it I can see is a language other than English, and it looks like it is either Chinese or Korean or something like that. I'm not sure. It does not look like Japanese. I want to say it might be Korean, but at any rate, I think this is a poster actually. So yeah, but here's the thing, like with this film, I wanted to complete the Tarantino collection, but I also wanted to watch it again because I remembered being really pumped for the, that's cool, the poster there. I remember being really pumped for that roadshow version and, you know, thinking, oh, you know, it's gonna be like, because it was in, you know, whatever it was, Panavision or CinemaScope. I think it was CinemaScope. It was, you know, treating it like the old school westerns, like How the West Was Won kind of thing. And so I thought, oh boy, you know, this is going to be like big, giant, open vistas. It's going to be this amazing, epic film. And guess what? You know, it takes place almost entirely in a cabin, you know, in the haberdashery or whatever. And I remembered thinking, well, geez, you know, Django Unchained should have been the one to get this kind of treatment, because that has beautiful cinematography. It's got this massive open vistas, and, you know, it would necessitate like that kind of treatment, and it was just a better overall film. Which, again, I do want to watch this again because, you know, maybe I judged it too harshly because of my expectations for it having been what they were. You know, like, it definitely had its moments and everything. I just remembered being kind of disappointed with the fact that it wasn't quite as huge or epic as I had hoped it would be. That's a cool on the inside there. This kind of case here is the same that they ship Criterion Collection films in. And there's, of course, our Hateful Eight disc. And, but yeah, it's a movie I'd like to watch again, reevaluate it. It's not one of my favorite Tarantino films. Now this here, let's see what that is. Oh, I guess that's just the price tag or whatever. See, I'm investigating all of this stuff, you know, live in front of the camera, so I can't exactly tell you ahead of time exactly what this stuff is. So this is sealed here, this envelope. I'll have to be really delicate with this, so that way I can preserve the structural integrity of the envelope. Okay. Now these look like postcards. I like that poster a lot. And I love this one. I was gonna get the Best Buy exclusive steelbook that had this cover on it, but I'm glad that I went with this instead because there's a lot more to it. I mean, I like the acting in the film, and the dialogue was classic Tarantino and everything. It was just more so the hype that surrounded it relative to what you actually got as far as like a big epic movie experience. But again, you know, nowadays I try to divorce myself from any kind of expectations one way or the other, because oftentimes you can get disappointed. You know, in this case, I guess it was just because, you know, Tarantino is one of the few people that really does seem to love the classics and tries to keep them alive in some way. And, you know, so I don't know. It's hard to say, really. Alright, but I think that'll do it for now. There'll probably be more things in the future, but as for me, I'm just gonna sit here, enjoy my Pepsi, and get some much-deserved rest after the day I've had today.